What's up, guys? Welcome back. So I cannot believe it's already been 7 weeks into my final rotation of PT school. At the same time, I'm very excited to be almost done, but it's flying by, and I've been pretty busy every day at work from basically 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. when I get home. So this past weekend, I went to New York with Ryan, Lendo, and Manny. I haven't been there ever since I was a kid, but it was kind of like a spontaneous trip. We got a really good deal on the tickets. We flew Spirit, so it was cheap. And we stayed at Ryan's friend's place in Financial District, so that was very convenient. And it was really close to Chinatown, and then the subway stations and everything. So shout out to Lynn and Vincent for letting us crash there. We basically spent a whole Saturday and Sunday in New York and got to see a lot of things, did a lot of touristy stuff. It was a good time, and I would definitely go back again.
When you have 2 months before the boards.
This is our life.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
There must be something in the water, and there must be something that you taught her. She said, I love ain't nothing but a monster. I love ain't nothing but a monster. Turn to you, you're all I see. I love the monster with 2 heads and 1 heartbeat. I turn to you, you're all I see.
Alright, so now back to my rotation in a spinal cord unit at the hospital. Basically, for the past month or so, I've been treating most of my patients. For the evaluations, I've been doing them myself as well, coming up with like the plan of care, their goals, and see what I want to do with intervention-wise. So it was good. It's really good to have that freedom as a student, but of course my CI is always there for help if I need it. At our hospital, we have a wound care doctor who kind of oversees all the patients with wounds, and a lot of my patients come in for flap surgery due to wounds on their ischial tuberosity for the most part, and then once the wound care doctor clears us to do some passive range of motion of the lower extremity, the hip, knees, and ankles, we begin. And usually they keep it at no more than 45 degrees at first for the hip flexion, and after a couple more weeks, once the doctor inspects the wound, make sure everything is healed, we can progress to like 90 degrees of hip flexion when we're doing their range in their beds. And then after that, the process usually moves on to after they're all cleared, we begin what we call a sitting protocol. So we sit them up. First day is 1 hour, see how they tolerate. And then we always inspect the skin before and after sitting for an hour. And the nurses can do that as well. The first 3 days is 1 hour, and then the next 3 days is 2 hours, next 3 days is 3 hours, and after 4 hours or more, basically just as to patient's tolerance, and as long as there's no any adverse effects on the skin, they're good to go. And also a lot of our patients there have roll hole cushions, which is pretty common, I believe, in most places. Roll hole cushion is basically air-filled, and it helps a bunch with pressure relief. But one thing I realized is very important to kind of assess the roll hole cushion, make sure it's at the right pressure, or else if it's pumped up all the way, because there's a pump that pumps it up, if you pump it all the way up and the patient's sitting on it, that's basically sitting on a kind of too hard surface, and that could also cause friction, shear forces, making any pressure source worse. So you want to make sure you correctly assess the amount of air in that roll hole cushion. So basically when a patient is sitting in their seat cushion, you put your hand underneath their butt, and then you palpate for the ischial tuberosity, and then you kind of press down with their butt sitting on your hand like this, and you kind of press down, see how much give there gives you. I think it's between 0.5 inches to 1 inch give, and if you can press down that much, then the amount of pressure, air in the cushion is good. So another common thing we see at the hospital with the patients is spasticity. A lot of them have spasticity because with the spinal cord injury patients, basically the nerve signal is kind of disrupted going back into the brain, the spinal cord. So, and I think it gets sent back into the motor circuits. So, and that can cause kind of uncontrollable contractions or resistance in the muscles. So spasticity is velocity dependent, meaning that it's usually caused by when you passively move a joint, and then the resistance will kind of kick in, and that's when you feel it. And then there's like different grading to it using the modified Ashworth scale. With spasticity, I learned a trick that if you apply a deep pressure using, say, your thenar eminence on like the thumb, if there has spasticity in the elbows or so, use a deep pressure in the thumb and then slowly move within that range, it will kind of help relieve that spasticity. And same thing with the legs. In the lower extremity, you can press on the big toe. Apply that deep pressure when you're trying to range them, and usually that will help relieve that. That'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and thanks for watching.